crafty friends. Today is Monday, April 24th, and you're here with Diane, the Creative Inkster, an Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thanks for joining in. Tonight we are going to look at this Optical Illusion card. So I love magic, all things magic, magic shows, you know, the whole thing. And so as soon as I saw this card, I was thinking of it as an optical illusion. I saw it on Pinterest. And so then, you know, you only sort of see one-dimensional. And so I made it myself. I couldn't decide if the triangles are here. There's 4 triangles on a white card base or white card layer, or if the background is 4 by 5 1/4 of this hearts paper and this piece of white is on top. So it kind of perturbed me a little bit, and I had to kind of figure it out. So I thought I would use this as the card for Creative Escape tonight, and we will make it both ways and see which we like better and which is more, takes more time or more supplies, and just kind of have a little fun with it. It also features the Country Bouquet bundle, which is carrying over into the new annual catalog. It won't be bundled though, so it is currently out of stock, I'm afraid, but coming back into stock May the 8th. And so here it's the stamp set with, I haven't used these ones quite as much, these larger hearts, but these definitely, and I love that we are friends. That stamp that I have is so colored and such that it's definitely, definitely well loved. And it has a matching punch. So this stamp here, and I think this one punches out as well from it. I've never done that though. But this punch here does the 2 hearts at the same time. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to do them separately. Oops, let me just get that so you can see a little. Maybe I'll flip it over. There we go. And so it does those 2 hearts at the same time because they're connected. And then the 2 leaves is one stamping here, and then you can punch it out. So we're going to play with that a little bit for our focal point. Rightio, let's tuck that aside, and let's first do the card the same way that I did this sample. So if you're out there watching me live, please tune in and let me know. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And likewise, if you're catching this on replay, as many of you do, please leave me a comment so I know you were here and what you think of this card layout and whether you were found it an optical illusion too. All right, so the way I did the first one was I took a piece of 4 across by 2, and that was important because this has an obvious up and down. You wouldn't want your hearts to be sideways or something. So I had taken this piece that's 4 across by 2 down. We're going to cut it in half. Put that one there for reference. We're going to cut it in half at 2. So I've got 2 by 2 squares. Okay, and then we're going to cut the squares on a diagonal so that I create the pieces that I need. So when I cut this on a diagonal, it will do this piece and this piece. So we want to make sure we do that triangle on the right corner to corner. So I'm going bottom left to top right. So I just stick it on my paper trimmer, line it up in the track. There we go. Flip it down. And then I've got 2 triangles that will go like this. And then we're going to do the same with the other 2 by 2. And so this time we're going to go top left to bottom right, and we'll do this triangle and this triangle. Top left to bottom right. That's the only tricky part. Okay, so we've got a triangle here and a triangle here. And that's perfect for our card piece. So I'm just going to take those off the sample for right now. I also need a card base. So I've got some basic white. I could have gone with the Sweet Sorbet, but I was just keeping all the color on the front and then just leaving the card base white, which I don't often do. So I want this to open like this. So this is going to be 4 1/4 across by 11 long. So that's a sheet of cardstock is 8 1/2 by 11, so 4 1/4 is halfway across. So what we'll do is cut it in half at 4 1/4 on the short side. I'll just line that up. Normally, if I was using both of them as card bases, I would have scored them first, just to save me a wee bit of time. So now I'm going to take my 4 1/4 by 11 and score it in half at 5 1/2. This is where all that math that you took in school comes into play. So here is my score line. Not sure you can see it, but we tend to fold away from the divot. So if I have put it in this way and I've scored into the paper there, I'm going to fold away from that so I don't break down the fibers of the paper any more than has already been made, which keeps it a little more sturdy. And then take a bone folder to crisp up the edge. Tuck that aside. So we've got a piece left over, and what we're going to do for this version is cut a 4 by 5 1/4. So that's basically another half of this. So we'll cut this down to 5 1/4. And this is the thick basic white, by the way. And then trim this edge off at 4. So there we go. We have a white on white, but it's not going to be super white because, or only white rather, because we've got the rest of the color to show up, but we've got a white on white layer. Okay. And then with the piece that you've got that's left over, you can do your stamping and punching of these. Now I've already cut out a circle with the stitch just so I didn't have to bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss over with me. But I wanted to show you something that I think it's about the same size. This is the new 2 3/8 inch punch that's coming out in the new catalog. Really nice size. No, we've never had a punch, to my knowledge, that size. We've had 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, but not 2 3/8. So I'm going to punch this out, and I'm going to see, I just eyeballed it. Okay, so it layers on. So I could have done the stitched circle, which is from Stylish Shapes in Sweet Sorbet, and then put the white circle on top. So it's just a hair smaller. But I want to try that out and see. Okay, so we're not going to need that now. Let's do some stamping and some punching out. I should have started the clock to see how long this was going to take me. Alrighty. I'm going to do my leaves in Pool Party. I know, not really a green leaf look, but we're suspending animation a little bit here. And when I go to stamp something and I know I'm going to punch it out, I kind of have the punch close at hand so that I can see which way. I wouldn't want to put it this way on the paper, so I have to cut a lot of paper out. I'm just going to put it this way and press down. And this stamp has a little bit of some texture to it, but I think I was talking a little bit and didn't get enough ink on it. So let's try again. It's also photopolymer. So one thing that can help you get a crisper image is to use the Stampin' Pierce mat. If you don't have this, you know, a catalog works, or, you know, something that has some softness and pushness. Now my placemats are not thick enough, hi Valerie, to kind of give you that pushback. This is going to be, what, a quarter, no, not quite a quarter inch. I mean, not quite, yeah, a little over a quarter inch wide, just a hair over. So let's try that and see if we can get a little bit better coverage with our stamping with the Pool Party. I'm not sure why this is, but it just pushes back and gives a little bit better coverage. Okay, here we go. So we're going to open up our punch and slide this in. I'm going to take this one over here because I like the coverage I got out of this one. Oh, come on. Trying to line it up there. There we go. So I don't need this scrap piece, but I have my 2 leaves. It's funny, this is so much lighter. And I stamped it. Maybe they'll lighten up a little bit as time goes on. I'm not sure. It's funny, I'm sure I used the same ink pad. I don't remember re-inking it. Interesting. All right, so next up is to do the large heart in Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to do these in 2 steps. So I'm going to do the large heart, and I'm okay if part of the ink gets on the small heart. And this is going to go top in there, so let's just put it up here. I'm probably going to waste a little bit of paper. That's okay. And it's designed to have those lines and streaky look going on there. And we're going to clean this stamp so we don't contaminate the Petal Pink ink pad with Sweet Sorbet ink. close this up too so we don't get our fingers into it. We are going to do a little bit more stamping, so hold off on that thought. Okay, petal pink, here we go. Now we're going to do the small one. Now, looking at the punch, it has the small one in that orientation, so I don't want to be doing it the other way around. So I'm going to stamp it in the same way. I'm just going to pick the ink up off the bottom part here, and we're going to, just in case we got a little bit on there, there we go. So it'll go in the punch, the same orientation I need it to go in. All right, here we go. Now we did have some paper, which may have also gotten into the retired list already. I'm not really up on that, but we did have some paper that you could punch out the images from. But if you've got the stamp set, well, you can do that always, forever. You don't have to worry about running out of paper. Okay, I'm going to line this guy up, and there we go. So we've used up our little scrap end piece nicely with our bits and pieces here. Let's tuck this aside for the moment. All right. Clean that up. Yeah, I think as they dry, I feel like as they dry, they lighten up. Like, I find that really noticeable tonight. Maybe it's because of the way the lighting is. Let's clean these guys up. I know we're going to stamp them again for the other card, but I'm notorious for sticking my finger into stuff or having things not work out well. Okay, here's my circle. I'm going to put that I Love That We Are Friends on here in Sweet Sorbet. I have some friends I'm seeing this weekend that I think these would be perfect cards for. And I kind of have it near the bottom of the circle. A great thing about stamping on a circle is if you have it off center, you just straighten it up. The circle goes around. Okay, that's it for stamping for this version of the card. Now, we're going to grab our card base and our 4x5 1/4, and we're just going to work on the 4x5 1/4. Let's put these triangles down. So if you remember when we did these at the beginning, they were 4 inches across. So they're going to, the two ends are going to meet right in the middle. So we'll put some glue on the back, and we're going to, I was going to get something to show you the contrast so you can see where it's lining up. So we're going to line this up right in the top left corner of the white. And with liquid glue, you got a little wiggle room. And then this one's going to come over, and see how it meets right up perfectly? I mean, I suppose it's possible I could be off with my measurement a little bit, but tonight it's lining up. I'm going to line this guy up here. There we go. Let's take a peek on the back. Perfect. Nothing's sticking out. And we'll do the same on the bottom. So this one goes here, and this one goes here. And then we're going to do the same card, but we're going to do it with that piece of white. And the hearts is a card layer. Let's see how that turns out. I'm just really curious. It just really interested me to see which way looks better. I think it's less paper all the way around if I am using the 4x2 piece here and cutting the triangles. And like, it took no time at all. Right, then we're going to grab the circle we started working on. We've got I Love That We Are Friends, and we're going to add these pieces. There they are here. So we'll take the heart first. We'll add the leaves to the back. So I just put a little glue on the back. Glue dots work too. And then we'll put this like so. And then we'll add a little bit more glue so the other one has something to hold on to. Probably okay with that much. This way. I think in the sample I saw this was actually stamped on the card, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, so we've got our heart with the petals, And then we're going to put this one right here. So put a little glue on the back of this guy too. There we go. Pick him up. Sure, easier said than done. I love it when my hands cooperate. All right, and we'll stick that on there like that. And now we're going to pop it up on dimensionals, because we like to do that. So I always, when I'm assembling something together, like the leaves on the heart and such, I will put a dimensional right where they're meeting. That kind of gives them a little more stability as the glue dries for staying together. And we'll put this here, kind of centered. All right, and then on the back, we're going to stick some ribbon across here. And to make that easy, I would recommend either using your tear and tape like I'm using, or a tape runner like Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm putting these vertical to the rest of my design. That one I didn't. I put it horizontal, and I found like I had a little bit of gaps of where the ribbon wasn't grabbing. So, oh yes, let's grab the ribbon. So this is a 2-pack, goes with the same suite, called Real Red and Burlap Ribbon Combo. Haven't used the burlap all that much, but I'm going to put this on the back here. So I usually just kind of take a little gauge by playing with it here first to make sure. I'm going to cut enough, but not too much. Oops. Once again, my fingers have decided not to be cooperative. There we go. And then there. So about there. What did that end up being? 11.5 inches. Just so we do that for the other one. Okay. So now we're going to peel the backings off pretty simply. And we're going to weave this onto the back and secure it all down with some dimensionals, which will also help the ribbon stay in place. Alrighty, here we go. Now, the good thing about using tape runner like this or a bunch of glue dots is that if you goof up your placement, you can always pick it up and reposition it. So it's just grabbing the adhesive on the back there. And we go back around. And I like that this ribbon is the same on both sides, so I'm not worried about there being a right and a wrong side, so to speak. And we'll just trim this. I want those to go in the same direction. Whoop, that didn't go well. Trim this. There we go. All right, and so we're going to get this in the middle of the card with some dimensionals. And again, I'm putting those over top of my ribbon to give my ribbon some stability on the back of the card. Put 5 on here. Pop this guy up. And we'll see the finished card, and then we'll try it the other way, because we've got time. So we're going to center this across there, and then I'm going to glue it down on the card base. Oop. No, I'm not. Not like that, I'm not. Here we go. Curious to know what you think about this optical illusion. I just thought it just blew my mind when I saw it, because I could see it both ways and wasn't sure which way was which. All right, so now let's grab the other pieces. I don't have to give you quite so much explanation. We will cut this to 4 1/4. And we'll score one piece at 5 1/2. Okay, and then we'll just set that aside for the moment. We have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, so now we're going to put this piece on here on the card base, and then let's see, I'm going to cut the other white, the remaining white that I didn't score. I'm going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. Oops, 5 1/4 this way. and 4. Oh, maybe, yeah, I guess it's just a little bit more designer series paper, I guess, is what you're changing up here. All right, let's get this on the card base. Different, huh? I know. Okay, this is going to go on here, like so. So I guess if you didn't have a lot of pattern paper and you wanted to make some swaps, this is a way to kind of make that thing sort of happen. And I had that on my brain because tonight I'm making 20 swaps. I need to have them in the mail by Friday, and it's a busy week. I'm heading away for the weekend, Thursday after work, and I've got to get to the hairdressers, and I've got to get to packing, and I got a class tomorrow night, so it's like, yeah, not sure how well this is going to go. So, what was my thinking on this? Oh shoot, I probably shouldn't have glued it right down. So it's going to go like this. Wait a second. Okay, I got talking. Look what happened. How did I figure this was going to fit? I said to myself, cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. Huh. Oh, it's got to go 4 this way. No, it's not. I'm going to have to remeasure this. That's okay. You get talking, that's what happens. So this needs to be 3. Oh, this is going to be more complicated than I thought, isn't it? Unless I was thinking the 4 goes this way. Wait a second now. Help me out, people, because this isn't working the way that I thought it was going to. Okay, so I worked out that this height would be 5 1/4 tall. That part's right. And then it's still 4 across. Well, clearly this is not perfect. Okay, I think that I have the answer to my question, which is there's no way to do this the other way. This is the way. It is an optical illusion. It does look like the paper's on there, unless you cut this wonky piece out, which looks like a lot of work to me, but we could probably figure it out. You could cut the piece like that, mark it, and cut it off. So that's definitely more work. I'm all for less work. So here we go. What are we going to do with this card? Well, we've got this card base that looks like this. We are just going to add that really nice circle over here with some ribbon on it and make that kind of pretty. So let's get our stamping done. Oh, I like how I just kind of figured that out. That's kind of good. Because it did look a little bit more complicated. Oh, we're going to get our thingamajiggy in here. There we go. And then we're going to do the bottom one in petal pink. Oh, and I forgot to add my iridescent rhinestones too, because that adds a lot to the card. Have we got the circle? So let's get the greeting going. Let's do this, and then I can cut the other one and show you in the picture when I'm all done. Remember how I said if you took the stitched one from Stylish Shapes and the new 2 3/8 inch, you could layer them? So I'll cut one of these out in Sweet Sorbet afterward, and then when I post the pictures, you'll see that layer on there and how nice that looks. And petal pink. And once again, the punch is going to have this one come upside down. So I want to just make it easier for myself and do the heart the same way, the heart in the same direction. And then we'll get the pool party for the leaves. Look at that. It's like magic. Look at how it dried up. Do you remember how much darker it was? And it's all lightened up just as it has dried. Wow. I didn't realize that so much about the ink pads until I was comparing them one to the other. I just thought maybe my ink pads were perhaps needing re-inking. but not so. Very cool. Okay, there's the leaves. Like a little kid, right? Woo, look at this, check it out, I'm learning something. Love it. Okay, there's the heart and the leaves, and then the excess leaves we don't need, and then the little heart down here. Zing! Holy moly. Everything's flying. I used to say that about the butterfly punch that we used to have, that the butterfly punch would fly everywhere. Let's assemble here. Remember, we put the leaves on the back here. I could also use tear and tape for this. Be a little less messy, but I love my liquid glue. It works for me. So I started to tell you about going away for the weekend. I go to this crop weekend twice a year in Stratford, Ontario, which is about an hour away from where I live, and is actually where my daughter, son-in-law, and grandson live. And I hang out with like 45 of my favorite friends. We have a wonderful time. We have an entire crop room open to us in the hotel from Friday at 9 a.m. till Sunday at 3 p.m. Like, that's heaven. And you can just come and go as you please. We're right on site for our hotel, and there's food and everything you can think of, any budget you want in the area for food. It is perfect for that. So yeah, I am looking forward to doing that, hanging out with some of my good friends I have met over the years, some members of my team as well. I said about 11.5 inches. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I get to get away, and it's always good to get away from home for a little while. You have a different perspective, and you never have to worry about cleaning and stuff like that, because when you're home, there's a million things that you can think of to be doing. When you get away, you get that little treat. So I'm excited. So we do this, as I mentioned, twice a year in April and October. And it seems like the time goes usually quite fast in between the two, and so many people, other things have gone on in their lives and connected. People have gone on trips, had grandchildren, and kids move on to different activities and stuff to catch up on. But this year it feels like it really hasn't been that long. Probably because I see some of these folks too, so that's kind of nice. All right, so this is going to go, oh yeah, I was going to put it on a circle, right? Maybe not. We're going to put this one down here, and not in the center. Whoops, it needs dimensionals, Diane. Let's get that on here. So maybe not, but I will show you that. Or I did explain it anyway. You get the idea. Put another one down here, and then we can call this card finished, and know that we've learned from all that. Okay, go have dinner. See you later. Okay, so let's take our 3 cards. If you tune in now, you'll be like, wait, where's the white? No, we just didn't do it. Just decided we're not doing it. And we're going to take our iridescent rhinestones, which pick up sort of the tinge and the color of what you've got going on, which is kind of neat. So this is, I think, the larger size of these guys. Oop, the adhesives come apart there. There we go. Oops. Grab you, and we'll just add these here around to sparkle it up. So there's our one with the 4 by 5 1/4 inch, and then here's the 2 that match. I'll have a great story to tell when I pass this card along to the gals on the weekend, cards, and show them. Okay, awesome. Thanks for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I'm back Wednesday night before I head out of town, and we will have another What's Up Wednesday and something fun and cool to play with. Take care. Bye for now.